rested with the brilliant Master Mood. Let's go to the track and pick them up in Heat 7 of this year's Interdominion Series. Here's Rion Murtha.
Prince of Princes, and right behind him Trident's dropped into trail. They were followed two back by Dreaming Libre. Paleface Bubbles got over to the rail. Now moving forward to the outside, Premiership and Aaron Blaze. Sunset Candios is next, and now Kevin Williams is going to go three wide with Master Mood. Just pushing him up a wee, but there's plenty of speed on. On the rails behind those, Skipper Ventar, two to Malaise, followed then by Horizon and two to Borana. Past the judge they go now, and Prince of Princes trying to slow them off a little bit as they go for the line round 10 turn, and on round the bend they go. Prince of Princes the leader. Master Mood, he's trapped a little wide round that bend. In the centre, Premiership, and along the rail Trident getting a perfect sit in behind the leader. Dreaming Libre is three back along the fence, and Aaron Blaze in the other. They were followed in by the Australians, Paleface Bubble the inside, and Sunset Candios the other. Horizon next, then Skipper Ventar, and back to the tail of the field Borana, and alongside of it Malaise. They stream down the back now, 700 metres to run, and the West Australian Prince of Princes in front. Master Mood has landed up on his wheel. On the trail then to Trident, followed by Premiership. The speed is really on. Two lengths back to Aaron Blaze and Dreaming Libre. They were followed deep in the fence by Skipper Ventar, being shaded by Sunset Candios the other. Going around them's Malaise, Horizon, and further back on the inside to Skipper Ventar and Borana. 400 to go. Prince of Princes in front, but Anthony Bundy's just niggling out a little bit, and Master Mood is breasted up on the outside, and they're clear of Trident. 4 lengths and the rest headed by Premiership, and Paleface Bubble starting to run out of the pack, but round the bend for home, and Master Mood, he surges to the front now. 200 to go. Prince of Princes trying to stick to him the inside, and Trident's attacking down the other. Master Mood is getting a reminder to keep him up to his work, but he's a great stayer, and down to the post he comes. 50 metres to go. Here's a flashing run now from Paleface Bubble. Paleface Bubble got him, and Paleface Bubble has got up on the outside just to take the win. Master Mood and Sunset Candios, Prince of Princes, Trident. There'll be photos all the way for the miners as well. Just behind those then, Premiership, Malaise, Skipper Ventar, Horizon, Aaron Blaze, Borana, and Dreaming Libre.
Paleface Bubble, what a brilliant winner, and here's hoping he can go one better next week. Something his father could never do. Paleface Adios, winner of 9 heats of an Interdominion, but could never go on and win a final. Master Mood second, Sunset Candios third, all three into the grand final. Prince of Princes fifth, scored 9 points, finished up with 31, and also assured of a start in next week's grand final. Well, to the 8th heat, and of course there was the sensation during the week when Bag Limit was scratched from tonight's heat, but Bag Limit still will be allowed to compete in the grand final next week, 28 points being sufficient to take him through. My Lightning Blue certainly had to poll well, so too did the New Zealanders, Almana, Metal Mickey and Gaelic Skipper, if they were going to force their way into the grand final. A lot of interest in this particular heat surrounded the performances of Wednesday's winner Skipper Dale and the other Victorian, Parla Royal. Heat 8.
To go. Ian Cameron takes Saucy Star to the lead now. Running second on the inside is Almana. Colin de Philippi just looking around to examine where the rest of them are placed. And Skipperdale is going to be wide round the turn. Laser Lad in the middle. And Parla Royal is back in the inner. They were followed a bit further back by Metal Mickey following Sir Alba. On the inside of those they race through the straight as Gaelic Skipper, then Skipper Ventar. Reggie's mate, and now quite down on the inside. Lightning Blue has caught the back of the field. They race through the straight, a lap to go, and Saucy Star's the leader. It's Saucy Star by just over a length. Skipperdale is going to be parked again tonight. Right behind it, Almana getting a perfect sit for Colin de Philippi as they go round the line, Brian turn, and right in behind those to Parla Royal. Over on the outside again to Laser Lad. Sir Elba follows that, then Gaelic Skipper. About 950 metres to run. Metal Mickey's third from last, and going forward Reggie's mate, and Lightning Blue being held up at the tail of the field. On their way down the back, and Saucy Star at the 800 pole in front, just over a length to Skipperdale. Almana and Nick back on the inside. Over the outside, Laser Lad, and through on the fence again to Parla Royal. They were joined on the outside again as they travel down the back by Sir Elba. Giving ground on the outside of those, they travel down the back then. Would have been Reggie's mate, and now Lightning Blues had to move wide round the field. Metal Mickey trying to go through on the centre, and so Gaelic Skipper goes back to last. They race for the home turn now, just on 400 metres left to run. And Saucy Star, the challengers coming thick and fast from Skipperdale. Sir Elba round the outside of those, right behind them Almana waiting now for the opening, and they were followed by Laser Lad. Out in the middle of the track now is Lightning Blue, and up through the centre then to Reggie's mate and Metal Mickey, but Skipperdale has made it to the front, 150 to go. It's Skipperdale in front. He comes away by a length and a half. Almana getting through and wide around the middle. Mickey down to the post. Skipperdale down the outside middle. Mickey and Almana and further out then. Oh, in the centre we've got Laserland and wider out to Gaelic Skipper. In between those, Sir Elba. They were followed home after a gap by Parlour Royal. Then came Saucy Star and perhaps Lightning Blue beat Reggie's made home.
Well, Lightning Blue did manage to beat one home, but finished 10th and so finished on 24 points. Skipperdale the winner, Metal Mickey was second, Almana third. All three managed to secure enough points to force their way into the grand final. Parlour Royal finished 6th and finished up on 24 points. And the two Victorians, Parlour Royal and My Lightning Blue, were really tense as their two drivers and connections had to sit through the 9th heat to see whether 24 points would be the cut-off point or whether it would be enough to make the grand final. The 9th heat certainly had plenty of interest. Rolls Hanover from New Zealand, Michelle Bromack, Alpine Fella, the Vin Knight trained second elect really from the stable, certainly needed some points to get into the final. Town Royal from Queensland, Luxury Liner, one of the other favoured runners, the North Island champion, Frangelico, certainly in with a chance, Lord Louis, and also the other Victorian, quite famous. A great battle coming up in the 9th heat of this year's Interdominion Pacing Series.
Into the straight now, and Luxury Liner lines them up first time down the straight by about 2.5 to 3 lengths. Vin Knight has got Alpine Fella probably just where he wants him, and the pace is eased. They were followed by Michelle Bromack. The inside rolls, Hanover follows that. Round the outside comes French Lord. It's followed now by Frangelico. Cinnamon Jr. starting to go up 3 wide around them, and they pass the judge a lap to go. Where the leader, Luxury Liner, Cinnamon Jr.'s landed up on the outside. Alpine Fella trails 2 lengths back with French Lord next to that, then Michelle Bromack. Lord Louis become much more prominent now. Placid Victor the outside of Rolls Hanover. Into the back they travel. They were followed about 3 or 4 lengths back to the inside then by Town Royal. Over the outside to Quite Famous and Freightman, and Frangelico's right out of it now, and she's dropped back about 50 or 60 metres. Down the back they travel, and Luxury Liner, Brett Mangos hanging on to him, and he's out by 3/4 to a length now from Cinnamon outside of the leader, just on 700 metres to run. Alpine Fellow running nicely in the trail. Just next to it now is French Lord, is followed through on the inside by Michelle Bromack. Lord Louis next to that, a length the rolls head of the fence, 600 to run. Placid Victor followed by the Queensland representative Town Royal. Quite Famous a half a length away, and Freightman is last of the bunch. They race round the far turn, 400 metres left to run now. And still Luxury Liner, the red hot favourite, is travelling beautifully in the lead. Alpine Fella right in behind it, waiting to come out. It'll have to win, I think, to be sure of getting into the final. And just to the outside, Cinnamon Jr. getting it jammed in. And over the outside to French Lord, and further out Lord Louis, Placid Victor and Quite Famous down the outer. It's Luxury Liner. Alpine Fella's out. The challenge has got nothing. Michelle Bromack down on the inside is coming fast, but Luxury Liner's home safe. Michelle Bromack running through in a second. Alpine Fella in the middle of the track. It's going to be close for second. Michelle Bromack. Alpine Fella rolls Hanover. And then we had Freightman, and Quite Famous was wider out on the track. They were followed home by Town Royal. Next to that was Placid Victor. Lord Louis might have been struggling to make the final. He's got back a bit. And they were followed home by Cinnamon Jr., French Lord, and Frangelico, which was out of the contest with 1,000 metres to run.
Well, a brilliant winner there, Luxury Liner, and the North Island cheered. Brett Mangos, the driver, Michelle Bromack second, Alpine Fella finished third, but those points just enough to finish on 25 points and make it through to the grand final. But Luxury Liner finished on top of the point score in the end with Paleface Bubble, and both of those will be very hard to beat, but no doubt the nominal favourite when they move on to the track next week will be Master Mood, who's the South Island champion, and the Victorian champion Bag Limit will also come in for some solid backing, of course, should he be able to stand up to the veterinary test during the week and take his part in the field. Let's go through that final point score of this year's series, and as you can see, Paleface Bubble from New Zealand and the 3 other New Zealanders there who polled best of all, Luxury Liner, Master Mood, Skipperdale, who won on Wednesday and again won quite brilliantly tonight, and then behind those the Queenslander Sunset Candios. What a great performance from him. Prince of Princes into the final, Metal Mickey and Rolls Hanover both finishing on 30 points, and then 3 horses on 28. Of course, Bag Limit, winning on the first night, winning again on Wednesday night, and being scratched tonight, but still 28 enough to go through to next Saturday night. Almana, Michelle Bromack, Lord Louis just managed enough points in that final heat. And then the sad news as far as Australian followers are concerned, Alpine Fella managed to get through, but the two reserves for this year's Interdominion Pacing Series, My Lightning Blue and Parlour Royal from Victoria, and probably their best chances of making their way through to the grand final, or either of them, would be should Bag Limit become injured or be unable to take his place in the final. Well, it's certainly been a very interesting 3 nights of heats. For mine, I might stick with Paleface Bubble because his dad was one of my favourites, but who knows? You'll have a great horse to support next Saturday night, so until then, goodbye. Hello and welcome to the ABC's coverage of this year's grand final of the Interdominion Pacing Championship from the delightful Addington track in Christchurch in the South Island of New Zealand. Well, 5 Australian pacers have a chance to get that little bit of pacing history tonight. Never before has an Australian horse won a title in the South Island. And certainly Australia's best hope had to be #1 Paleface Bubble, because he drew the inside of the front row and, more importantly, 2 firsts and a second in the 3 heats. Looking through the field, Luxury Liner, certainly the #1 hope from the North Island, drawn well there. Prince of Princes from Western Australia, immediately on his outside, 3 more New Zealanders. And then further out, we're going to see the brilliant Master Mood. He's trained in Christchurch, an outstanding pacer, certainly the hope from the South Island. Alpine Fella there from Victoria. He's trained by Vin Knight, who sadly during the week had to scratch Bag Limit, and this allowed My Lightning Blue to get the run. The other Australian in the event, Sunset Candios. So I suppose the lucky runner going into the event has to be My Lightning Blue, after only securing a passage through to the grand final because of Bag Limit succumbing to that leg injury. And Australia's major hope, definitely Paleface Bubble, as far as the bookmakers and betting boards and tote boards were concerned around Australia. The favourite in New Zealand, Luxury Liner, only just fractionally in front of Master Mood. 5 Australians, 2 from Victoria, 1 from Western Australia, 1 from New South Wales and 1 from Queensland. Here's Rion Murtha.
Grand final is underway and Paleface Bubble from the inside. Master Mood wide out on the track is going, and so too in the centre is Prince of Princes. Luxury Liners dropped in behind them. Rolls Hanover. They were followed through by Skipperdale's got a run up on the inside of Lord Louis. They head for the first bend at high speed. About 2 lengths back, Michelle Bromack. Sunset Candios is next. They were followed now by on the rails Medal Mickey, and behind them Almana. Getting back is Lightning Blue, and beside it is Alpine Fella. Master Mood's been 3 wide round the first turn, and Paleface Bubble's held the lead. It's Paleface Bubble in front. Michael Ilsley's going to take a hold of him now, and Master Mood is zooming to the lead at the outside. Paleface Bubble's seen him come, and Michael Ilsley's not going to give the lead away, with Master Mood sitting parked on the outside, and Prince of Princes has landed up on the outside with a cover. In behind them Skipperdale, then Luxury Liner 3 back on the outside, beautifully placed by Brent Mangos. Sunset Candios along the rail. It's followed deep on the rails by Metal Mickey. Going forward is Lord Louis, followed by Michelle Bromack. Round towards the 1600 metres they go. Rolls Hanover, Alpine Fella, Almana, and 2 away to Lightning Blue. They stream down the side now, and they pass the 1600, where Master Mood has made it to the lead. Master Mood in front now, and out to challenge him on the outside is Prince of Princes attacking. They were followed by Paleface Bubble, dropped in to get a trail. Pressure's just gone off a little bit. Then Kevin Williams trying to give Master Mood a bit of a breather. Here's the attack now coming from Lord Louis to take him on. So Master Mood from Lord Louis going up on the outside. Master Mood down on the inner. Lord Louis going for the lead. Will Master Mood give it away? He may. Wider out on the track now is Almana, 3 wide on the outside of Prince of Princes, and Paleface Bubble getting a good trip on the rail. Onto the showground turn they go. Skipperdale in the inner. Lightning Blues going around them, 5 wide on the bend around Armada. Luxury Liner got a little bit lost. He's trying to follow Lightning Blue around in Michelle Bromack. Sunset Candios along the rail middle. Mickey Rolls, Hannah and Alpine Fella. Into the back goes Lord Louis, the leader now. Up on the outside now would have been Lightning Blue's made a big run around them. Luxury Liner 3 wide, 800 metres to go. Master Mood down in the inner being niggled at by Kevin Williams. And off the rail is Pale-Faced Bubble. He's getting nicely poised to be in a challenging place. Skipperdale has got onto his back. Sunset Candios streaming up on the inside and further out to Prince of Princes in the centre, Almana. 600 to go, middle, Mickey the rail. Alpine Fella looking to get through and further out to Michelle Bromack. Prince of Princes has called it a day and rolls Hanover. Lord Louis at the 450 by 3/4 of late Lightning Blue. He's trying hard to pressure him. He's not making much impression at the moment. Master Moon down on the inside and further out on the track to Luxury Liner, and Skipperdale is 3 wide and waiting for a room through the middle is Pale-Faced Bubble. They're in the straight in the final. Lightning Blue now has mastered Lord Louis. Here's Luxury Liner and Pale-Faced Bubble, and further out Skipperdale down the outside. But at the moment it's Lightning Blue. Lightning Blue in front from Pale-Faced Bubble. Skipperdale is wider out, but Lightning Blue's won the Interdominion Grand Final in a tight photo. Pale-Faced Bubble and Sunset Candios. Australia 1, 2, 3. Skipperdale 4th. Then Luxury Liner, Master Mood, and further out they were put at home by Rolls, Hanover, Alpine Fella, Michelle Bromack, Lord Louis, then Almana, put at home by Middle Mickey and Prince of Princes.
Well, what a night for Australian harness racing. My Lightning Blue the winner, and of course he was the lucky horse in the race. He was originally the first emergency and secured the run at the expense of Bag Limit. But what a night for Jimmy O'Sullivan, because his other stablemate, Quite Famous, took out the consolation. Hard luck for Michael Ilsley and New South Wales Hope's Pale-Faced Bubble. What a good performance though to finish second, and a mighty performance from the Queenslander Sunset Candios, trained and driven by Michael Duck. So an Australian trifecta, an outstanding performance, and have a look at them as they come down the main straight again. My Lightning Blue, he's certainly got away from the field. In behind him, trying to push out and come out after him and issue the challenges, Pale-Faced Bubble. And down the outside will come Sunset Candios and Skipperdale. But Jim O'Sullivan's got the break that he was looking for. He might have been a bit disappointing early in the series, but he's won the race that counts. That's the grand final. And My Lightning Blue comes away. And what a great person Jim O'Sullivan's been for harness racing. And I think that not only will all of Australia be cheering tonight, but I think Victorians are certainly shouting everywhere. A great night, a great grand final. Good evening.